Hello, all of my beautiful players. How are you doing on this fine day?
Well, I'm beautiful, apparently.
Just
Apparently so.
peachy.
I'm
Yes.
very ready for D&D. That's how I'm doing.
Yay. So, we've been playing for a few sessions now. None of these sessions are on YouTube. There's been some crazy things going on. Everyone's dead. They're kind of undead, but not really. They went to from their little mountain fortress to try to hunt down a dude who stole the living soul that was making everybody happy in their little mountain fortress. And this led them into the corpse of Yinogu. And unfortunately, they happened upon some Knoll Witherlings who put up varying levels of a fight. This ended decently enough for some of the party, not so great for one of the party. Everyone give a quick hello, and this is my character, please. George, can you start?
Sure. My name's George, and I'm playing Wendalorn the Mad, a wizard.
Jordan,
Hello, I am playing Ivor Bursk. He is a very bald rogue.
A
Stephanie,
regular bald. I'm Stephanie, and I'm the excessively handsome cleric you see there.
indeed. Chris,
I'm playing Vesper, the sorcerer that can't stab
They can't stab what now?
bushes.
it is an
Well, who
unfortunate
can?
handicap. There have been a lot of bushes so far. And
Right.
Aiden,
I'm playing Slash Darkstone. He's a kind of crazy barbarian human.
he is good at barbing and Aryaning, I don't know what either of those mean. But he's good at them. That is what we have recently seen. Now, as we last left off, we had just gotten out of a combat with the Witherlings. And poor Wendalorn had just been turned into sashimi by a Witherling. He is currently lying on the ground, dead, but not permanently dead because, everyone's sort of undead. Just give him
Dead
a good night's
inside.
sleep and he'll get back up. He might have gotten up in only a few minutes if he hadn't been completely murderified and had just been knocked out, but that's what happens. So, the withery corpses lie about you all. Your sort of companion has been kind of standing petrified by that big old tree for most of the combat, not doing much aside from defending himself, I guess. And let me remind myself what his name was. Gareth. That was his name. That wasn't his original name, but that's what his name is now.
Did you ever remember his original name?
I did not know. So Gareth, he is going to trudge slowly out of that clearing that held the tree, and he ends up near Vesper. He's looking around with very wide eyes. He says, "Was that the last of them?"
At least over here, I think.
I do not see any more.
Now, Wendalorn is not among you. He did not reveal himself after all the fighting was done.
So we can't see him up there?
I mean, if you're approaching him, you can see him.
Well, I
So
just
yes, you can see him. You can see him crumpled on the ground next to the, I guess not too far away from the Witherling that had murdered him, that has now been murderified.
At least he didn't land in the oil puddle,
Yeah,
which
that
I
would have
assume
been
is
good.
what's outlined here in orange.
Yes, that is in fact oil.
I show myself having one spell slot remaining, but I'm positive I don't. I used two.
Okay, then feel free to remove that from yourself.
Okay.
It seems likely that you would have used it up.
Yeah. Just kind of nudge him with my foot.
He doesn't move.
Hmm.
Have any of you died in each other's presence before?
I went down in the last session.
Have any of you properly died in each other's presence before?
No, not properly died.
No, I don't think so.
Likely not.
Okay. So, what's your plan to deal with him until likely tomorrow morning when he gets back up?
How big are you, Wendellorn?
Normal person size.
Well, I guess lacking any better thing to do, I'm gonna very, very slowly drag him.
Alright, you drag him back to the rest of the party.
It takes a long time.
In the meantime, what are the rest of you doing?
Well, there are witches to be found, so Ivor will
Wendellorn, move your corpse with me.
move back over here and join these guys.
Alright. After some time, everyone congregates in the little clearing right here. I forget how to ping. It doesn't matter. It's the clearing with the bed. Some people and a corpse congregate. You are all covered in your various wounds, but most of you seem to have made it through the fight alive-ish, with the obvious exception of Wendellorn.
Should we put him on the bed?
I guess beds are good places to lie people to rest.
Gareth,
Checking it out.
I take it this is not your bed?
No. I've not seen this, but it wasn't here the last time I was here. Was it 6 months or so ago? Although it looks like it's been abandoned for quite a long time. He kicks up the
Indeed.
dust that had settled over the bits of the fire pit.
Looking at the bed, is there anything that stands out as a reason not to put him there?
No.
And then I put him there.
Is there anything about the encampment here that strikes me as gnolly, or does it look like something else might have made it? Is it too sophisticated for gnolls? Or...
Yeah, gnolls just kind of flop down wherever they feel like it.
Okay.
This was probably a non-gnoll who made their little camp here.
Well, I think we should wait here, or, I mean, at least guard here. This may be where some of the witches camped.
What's this here to the side of the bed?
What's the what to the side of the bed?
The thing, the little circle thing.
That there. That's a little bowl. It's got a couple little rocks in it. They seem to be ordinary rocks.
What time of day would it be, or would we even know?
It is, I believe, afternoon. Maybe mid-afternoon.
Well, what do you think? Should we wait here until our friend wakes up, or what do you guys want?
I think this would be a good idea. Yes.
I'm not dragging him anymore.
Gareth seems very nervous at this proposition. If we wait here all night, I think it a sure thing that the proper gnolls will return by then. Unless you plan on doing what I was planning and setting up a barricade and wait for them. But that'll likely end with all of us dead.
Well, I'm already dead, so
That's one way to look at it.
He seems mildly
So-
convinced by this line of reasoning.
Garrus, do you think we should camp outside the corpse then? Will we be able to get back in easily, or will I need to mutilate my other arm?
You did what?
I just hold up my still bloody arm, kind of, sort of wrapped in bandages and the magical healing, but still not quite healed.
He gives you a very peculiar look, and he pulls a half-rotted knoll hand that he had wrapped up from a pouch. He says, you just bring the body part of a knoll to the gate and it opens for you. Are you
Yes,
part
well,
knoll?
no, but we were in a hurry and there were no gnolls around, and it worked, did it not?
Yes, huh. I had never thought of that. You're a very bold man, sir.
Well, thank you, but I take it we could use your gnoll hand to get back in?
Yes, I've used it twice now. It, never terribly struck me as odd that it's just sort of remained in this state of rot for months now.
That is odd.
The gnolls were to be coming from the entrance, correct?
Yes.
Like, we could just stand somebody on guard ready to set that whole pool of oil on fire if they came.
And there were some hills nearby that you guys were previously looking at the corpse from that you think you could make camp at and not be immediately within sight of where Gareth describes the gnolls tend to return on their patrol from.
Yes, I am beginning to agree with Gareth. If we can make it back in easily, there is no sense in camping inside the corpse.
sounds like the smartest plan to me. I mean, I'm sure he knows what he's doing, so let's do that.
Right.
Just kind of look sideways at Gareth. He doesn't look like he knows what he's doing at all, but
He doesn't
I'll
terribly
go.
look like he knows what he's doing now. He looks a little frazzled.
And he's admittedly been killed several times.
Yes.
So avoiding death is not his strong suit.
No, not in the slightest. He planned on trying to take on a whole bunch of gnolls by himself just because he was irritated at them, so it's not
Wasn't
something
his plan kind of to suicide bomb with the oil?
It was, yes. He planned on pushing a rock onto some and then burning some with some oil, and that would have still left him trapped between two parties of gnolls in their own encampment, so yes.
Well, do we go the long way around or toss one to learn over the...
If you guys leave, you can make it without encountering any additional danger in here. So we can cut to you guys making camp in the hills outside the corpse, or if one of you would like to scout around trying to find a better location, you can do that.
Yeah, I'm in favor of that. Of the hills, that is.
Okay.
I about the hills.
I offer no opinion, but I'll follow you.
All right. Wendellorn obviously can't give his opinion.
Yes.
We
he
could
can,
just-
maybe he
We
mutters
can
in his
nod
sleep.
like Weekend at Bernie's style. Somebody just grabs his hair and nods his head for him. Yes, I agree.
Alright, welcome to... Oh, this isn't going to work, is it? Welcome to Hills. You. The hills are a few hundred yards from the entrance to the corpse. They're very knobbly hills, very tall hills, covered in old dead vegetation, and lots of boulders embedded here and there. Uh, there's an outcropping of stone that makes kind of a little cave, and you place Wendalorn inside it. Whether that's something he would want or not is maybe not the most important thing at the moment. Gareth begins immediately the process of trying to make a campfire before one of you politely informs him that that's a stupid idea, and he looks dejected.
Poor guy. He tried.
He did indeed. So, what are you going to do aside from simply setting up for a rest in these hills?
Ivor will take out his painter supplies and begin painting the campfire instead.
Nice.
Otherwise, he prepares to just join the watch, whichever order the
Right.
watch takes.
I just kind of sit down in a watching position and
sitting
watch.
down, you unfortunately can't watch much aside from the rock that's in front of you.
There's not like a kind of a vantage point where you can see the.
I suppose you could search for one. Can you give me a nature roll, please? No, I guess survival roll, please. Right, you find a hidey hole that has a peephole.
Mhm.
You can do your watching from here.
I designate this the watching spot.
Are you going to take the first afternoon watch then, if you have your hidey hole?
I will.
Alright. And will you be taking the second one, E4?
Works for me.
Alright. Can I get a perception roll from each of you, please? Excellent. So a few hours in, a single gnoll comes wandering in your guys' general direction. It's a runt of a gnoll, one barely older than a pup. It has a little like leather hood on, a little leather cape, and a short bow that has clearly not been taken very well care of. Now, gnolls don't really bother much with scouts, yet this looks for all the world like a gnollish scout. If it continues on its course, it will walk smack dab through the middle of your encampment, and there are no other gnolls in sight.
Whose watch is this during?
This is during yours, Stephanie.
Right, how far away am I from the others?
Maybe 10 yards.
Are they awake or are they asleep?
It's still the middle of the afternoon.
Okay. Then I'll go and beckon them over.
What do you do, guys, as you are informed
I know
of this?
the sight of Worm beckoning you is not very appealing, but somebody's got to go.
I will attempt to not actually approach Worm, but try to find a spot where I can hide with advantage on this knoll.
Okay, can you give me stealth, please?
Uh-huh.
You find a hidey hole of your own. Whether it's a good hidey hole, yeah, you feel pretty stealthy.
Good.
What about the rest of you?
How far away is it?
It's about 100 yards away at this point.
I try to find something to stand behind, and I take out my weapon just in case.
Alright, can you give me stealth, please?
Yeah, I'm going to return to my watching position and draw my sword.
All right. And Vesper, what about you?
I'm going to stealth as well.
All right. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to hide behind a thing also?
I must just try to find something to hide behind.
All right. Now, Slash, you have some doubts as to your stealthiness. You're worried that the that are you wearing shoes or boots or not, or are you in true barbarian fashion going around barefoot?
He's wearing boots.
Okay, then you're worried that the tip of your boot may be just far too long to fit fully behind your hiding spot, but there's not much you can do about it without losing your balance. Vesper, you feel incredibly stealthy. And Gareth had dug a little hole for himself earlier, and he now hides inside this.
He's just sitting in a little pit.
He feels very stealthy. Some minutes pass, and the maybe scout stops at the base of your hill. He looks around, sees nobody, sits down, takes out a piece of very poorly cured meat that perhaps one of you can smell even from your position. He gnaws on it, making very contented sounds for a while, and then turns around and starts back up the hill. He very soon will come close enough for you to touch him, those of you closest, which are probably going to be Worm and Ivor.
I'm gonna look to Ivor and see if he looks like Ivor.
Can you even see Ivor?
Neither of you can see each other from where you are.
Oh,
I'm too
That's
stealthy,
how
sorry.
stealthy you are.
so I can see nobody.
But you can see the knoll.
How close is the knoll to me at the moment?
What the heck is that?
It's within touching distance.
Within touching distance. Okay.
I
I would not do anything until he got slightly away from me.
Okay.
Does he have a weapon that we can see besides the?
He's got a spear and a bow, which are really not weapons you can wield at the same time, but that's what he has.
I mean, not with that attitude.
Apparently, Wendelorn's having a really bad dream here.
Yes,
Is he
indeed.
wearing a little crown?
It's his little scouting hat.
Oh,
So he passes out of arm's reach then, if you do nothing while he's within. He sees the preparations of
me
your
or
camp.
Ivor?
What's that?
Of me or Ivor?
If he comes within arm's reach of both of you. Ivor will do nothing until he leaves reach, at least. Will you do anything when he comes within reach?
Yeah, I'm gonna step out and stab him through the neck.
Okay, can you please make me an attack roll with advantage? Excellent.
Oops. Damn.
It did
Ignore
advantage
that.
already. Why did I just roll? He doesn't get a roll.
Why are you using dice?
That's a really good
Because
question.
dice
We've
are
got
better.
software, don't we? Rolling dice is infinitely more fun than typing it out, though.
It's true.
So,
Okay.
your greatsword whiffs right behind him. He immediately freezes and makes a high-pitched bark and spins around, seeing both of you. Ivor, will you do anything now?
Well, if I've been spotted, then I'm going to take out a dagger and be stabby.
Alright, attack roll, please. He has seen you, so I'm afraid you don't get advantage on him.
He would be within 5 feet of Worm for sneak attack, though?
Yes.
Is that correct? Sweet. Alright. So that's 10 piercing total.
Right. You
Assuming
stab
it's only
into his
3 hits.
neck, and he falls in a crumpled heap on the ground, unmoving.
Stabby, stabby.
Stabby indeed. Gareth pops his head out from the hole, and he frowns as he looks at the knoll. Is that a scout? That doesn't seem right. Do you see any of the others?
I'll take a look around.
Okay.
See if I see any others.
Can you give me perception, please?
Can indeed.
You give a very hard look to every point on the horizon. You see no gnolls. You see nowhere where a gnoll army might be hiding. Not that you're expecting an army. That a gnoll party might be hiding.
It does not seem that this was a scout. No.
You have to be very careful in your pronunciation of a null.
I'm not the one who invented them. They invented themselves. They know what they were doing.
And gnoll.
Indeed. Now, on him, this gnoll had a spyglass. One in a terrible condition, scratched and dented, with a big crack running through one of the lenses, but a spyglass nonetheless.
What would a gnoll have used for a spyglass?
In terms of otherwise usable equipment, he does have the gnoll-ish style spear and the poor quality short bow, as well as, one moment,
I want to pick up his spyglass and scan the horizon with it.
6 arrows.
I'll take the arrows if no one else calls dibs.
Nope.
Alright.
Alright, can you please give me perception for the spyglass spying?
It's very, very dirty.
Indeed.
Maybe covered in blood.
A little bit, yeah. You get a bit of a headache.
It does not occur to me to clean it.
Understandable.
Only because I don't think you'd let me roll it again.
I mean, you can clean it if you'd like, and you may roll again.
I'm just gonna wipe it off on my clothes. Much better.
Through the spyglass, there is a spot on the ground, maybe a quarter mile away, fairly far from the corpse. This spot glows bright red through the spyglass. If you lower it, you can no longer see it. You raise it again, there it glows again.
Who's nearest to me? Ivor still?
Yes.
I'll hand it to him and point to where I was looking.
And I'll look through the spyglass and see what I can see about that spot.
You make small adjustments to the cylinders of the spyglass, trying to get the thing in as best focus as you can, which is pretty much impossible. You see a big old slab of rock lying on the plain, jutting from the ground. It looks pretty much like any other rock that you might see on the ground, but there is what appears to be a handprint that is glowing when you look through the spyglass. The handprint of a fairly ordinary-ish humanoid. I would say 5 fingers of average-ish size.
So not a null handprint?
Not a null handprint.
Gareth, you seen this this strange handprint before? You've been around these areas much longer than us.
This handprint is on the ground?
Handprint? It's on a rock. A big old rock.
Yeah.
A handprint? No.
Yes, yes. Look through this spyglass.
He picks up the spyglass.
It's there.
He sees what you're pointing to. Says, no, I have no idea what that is. It seems like this is what a crazy wizard might do if they were trying to hide treasure, though. I think we should go check it out.
I'm inclined to check it out as well, but we may want to rest first. Unless you think it is urgent.
I call dibs on the treasure.
Slash speaking up for the first time in the conversation. Love it.
Fantastic. Well, yes, Slash will have none of that resting. He is clearly of a mind to get him some treasure. Would anybody like to go with him?
I politely remind Slash that one of us is dead and
No
can't
treasure
go
for
anywhere.
him.
Wow.
Fine, then tomorrow I get the treasure.
Alright,
All
one
right.
second, guys. I'm going to grab a pen.
Sure thing.
That night, Gareth seems antsy. He announces that he is going to go on a patrol and asks if anybody would like to go with him.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Where are you patrolling?
Oh, just the area. I really need to stretch my legs, and keeping us safe, I suppose, does double duty. Ignoring the fact that you have, like, a perfect vantage point to any area that an enemy might advance upon you. This guy clearly just really wants to get up and move about.
Well, if you are going on a patrol, two will be better than one, and let's keep it short, shall we?
Oh, okay.
I'll join him.
Alright.
I'm gonna pull Ivor to the side before he goes and tell him, watch him carefully. I don't trust.
Fair enough.
I'll go along. I don't got anything to do right now.
Alright. Vesper, what about you?
I think I'll stay here at the camp.
Okay. Lovely. You all go for a nice patrol. You encounter no enemies, as, you know, you would have seen them before now. But you do find a small bush that, for the first time since you began this excursion, was not trying to murder you. It instead had some thin, shriveled berries on it. "27 of these little berries, dark and red. It is very uncommon to find living things, let alone edible things, out in the wilderness."
Well, let us take these and see if anyone back at the camp recognizes them, unless either of you have some knowledge of nature.
Gareth stares blankly at you. "I've had berries before. They were quite tasty. I ate them in a jam.
Did
That was when I
they
was alive.
look like these ones?
I don't think so. I think they were blue."
Well, it's better to be safe than sorry.
You return back to camp. It was a very ordinary patrol. No enemies attack in the middle of the night.
All right.
The next morning,
So that counts as a short rest, yes?
that counts as a short rest, yes. Everyone gets their short rest things back and may roll any hit dice they have remaining, which I don't think is a thing most of you have left.
I have one that I will roll.
Okay.
What do I get back on a short rest? Remind me.
I'm now
Nothing.
blanking. What class are you again?
Cleric.
Okay, you can. I don't remember if you get spells back. I don't think at level 1 you get
I don't
spells
think so.
back. You get your divine.
You would get
something.
Channel Divinity next level, but you don't have that yet.
So probably nothing.
Okay, so I get nothing. Fantastic.
At daybreak, Windalorn lets out a gigantic gasp out of nowhere, scaring Gareth, who falls back into his hole. Windalorn, welcome back to the land of the living. You're at full HP.
It is good to be back.
What did you dream of when you were dead?
A horrible looking stick figure.
How dreadful.
It was just insight into his mind.
It wouldn't have appeared if he hadn't been dead. He's a demigod that
Just
pulls
like-
things into existence by dreaming them.
Just a 20-hour dream of just a stick figure. I love it.
Fantastic. There's a cloud of dust on the horizon. A fairly-ish smallish cloud. Garrett says, well, I'm sure that's them.
The gnolls?
Yes, the gnolls. Looks like a few dozen of them. That's what I expected. Though I expected them yesterday. They're a little late. They seem like they should be... they should reach the corpse again within a few hours of marching. The cloud of dust is rising behind some other hills in the opposite direction, so you cannot see the individuals themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Now remind me, how many were we expecting? Did he say?
He is expecting about 2 dozen. It might be closer to 3 dozen here.
That's a good number of gnolls.
It is a good number of gnolls. I'm glad somebody agrees.
I do.
Gareth is seeming a little bit more uneasy seeing the size of the dust cloud. And he says, yes.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
He says, oh, if we're going to check out that treasure, we should probably do it now.
Yes, can't forget about that.
The dust cloud isn't headed in the direction of the treasure, is it?
And it's the same general area. For the general direction of the hills and you guys, and I suppose the treasure.
Are you sure you don't want to wait for them to pass? Wow.
That is a
Alright.
tactical overview of your situation.
So are we likely to beat the dust cloud to the corpse if we really book it, do you
Oh,
think? or not?
absolutely. Yeah, you could make it there in, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. They're still probably a couple hours away.
And the treasure would be a significant detour?
Depending on what your alternative is, if you're trying to just to get back into the corpse, it won't be a significant detour. It'll add, I mean, just getting there will add maybe 15 minutes onto, well, I guess it would be 20, 30 minutes onto your
Okay.
overall time, not including however long it'll take to actually investigate.
All right. Well, what say you all that we visit this treasure briefly, hopefully figure it out quickly, and then move on to the corpse. Hopefully beat the gnolls there, set up a trap, or we could wait on the outside, maybe kill a few gnolls off one by one. There are many ways to approach this, but it might be advantageous to get there before them.
But my vote is still to set the entire oil puddle on fire. It covers the entirety of the entrance.
Gareth brightens at this.
This could be arranged, yes.
says, "Well, uh, what are we waiting for then?" And he jumps out of his hole and sets off down the slope of the hill toward the treasure.
The Tresser.
The
Well, I don't personally care for the Tresser, but if that's where everybody's going, then I'll trudge along.
You're not interested in being a treasure hunter.
Right.
Flash just heads off towards the treasure.
Okay.
It's
Before
just
we mention it, he just wakes up and goes, I assume.
It is an important thing.
it's just bouncing along before everybody else.
We don't even know that it's treasure.
It's entirely true.
It said Tresser on the thing, of course it is.
You don't know what that means in Nolish.
This is a good point.
Wendellorn, what are your thoughts upon coming to seeing yourself in this hilly encampment and hearing your companions talking about Knoll treasure?
He couldn't care less about the treasure. His first concern is going to be for his book to make sure it didn't get damaged in the fight with the Knoll Wither.
Alright, can you give me investigation, please?
Yep.
You page carefully through your book, investigating the passages that are the most interesting and most important to you, making sure that the ink hasn't been so much as smudged. Despite the Knoll having sliced through you in several places before leaving you crumpled on the ground, the what passes for blood that poured from your body did not soak through the cover of your book, though there is a gigantic blotchy stain on the front cover. One of the blades passed only a few inches from the book itself, much to your relief.
Well, he will be very sad to see the blood on the cover because he's going to have to spend quite a bit of time cleaning that off. And he will be equally sad to see that the owl has returned to the cover of the book because that means he is without his familiar for the time being.
Indeed. Do you have the components to call him again? Because you could have easily done that in the time between coming to and now if you had the means to do it.
Not at this point.
Okay. So, those of you who get to the treasure, let's see if I can do this here. And my pen does not want to work. Lovely. This big old rock jets from the ground. The handprint that glowed through the spyglass looks like it has been etched or otherwise eroded into the face of the rock. It does not glow when you look at it with your ordinary eyes. If you hold the spyglass up to it from a close distance, it glows again. It seems as though all the little lines of the fingerprints and the signature of the palm of whatever put the print here, they've been transcribed exactly into the stone.
So this is hand size.
It is hand-sized.
They have
Human?
that little hand.
What's that?
Is it a human hand shape or is
It
it?
is, yes. Beside the print, there are some lines of text.
Can we read the text?
Yes, it is written plainly in common script, though maybe in a little bit of an odd dialect. 1 second, I'll send it into the text box.
Well, then I will read it.
I like how it says Mr. GM and then GM in parentheses.
That's the rambling bit of text that is written on the stone. My will and testament laid in stone. Give and take as you will, and give and take in return, and give to all, and no one when asked, and earn what I have to give, and give what I will take. Whether this
I read it.
whether this was what was all that was intended, or whether somebody snuck up behind the writer and bashed him on the head, and that's why there's no punctuation, the world may never know.
I read it several times and just end up with a headache.
Has anyone touched the handprint yet?
No.
Well, I have already sacrificed one arm for in a strange.
Yeah, that's why I was leaving it to you.
But I was bringing this up because I figured maybe it was someone else's turn. But
Is it the same hand?
I don't remember. It is a left hand.
I believe I used my right arm before.
Don't we have a gnome hand we can use?
A
That is
no
true.
hand was not a human handprint, though.
That is true.
But we should try it just to be safe.
Does it have the same number of fingers?
It does.
Mm.
Gareth, as you say this, pulls the null hand,
I-
rotting as it is, from his pouch. He says, "Are you sure?"
I would recommend against this because we need this to get back into the corpse, and if this stone destroys it, one of us will have to maim our arm to get into the corpse.
Yeah, that's a good point. Slash on the print.
You have another arm.
Do you say Slash puts his hand on the print?
Yes.
Okay. When you put your hand in the print, there's suddenly a very old goblin standing beside you. To your right. He has no left hand and has an iron hook in its place. He turns to you and says, "Good morning. What year is it?" You don't count the years in this place, so you have no idea.
Do all the rest of us see it, or just
No,
Slash?
just Slash.
I have no clue.
Oh,
I don't keep track of that.
no clue. It's an interesting choice of words. Now it's your turn to ask me something.
Okay, who are you and where did you come from?
Where I came from is not important. It's where I went that is the most appropriate to our conversation. And I'm right here. As are you. We both walked a long ways to reach this point, didn't we?
I suppose.
I scrutinize the area that it looks like he's speaking to.
You see nothing.
Kind of wave my hand in it.
Worm waves his hand through the goblin. Goes, "Oh, that tickles!" But Worm feels nothing and senses nothing.
Well, great. The barbarian's lost his mind.
My time for a question. What will you give me in exchange for my body? It's a very good body, you know, better than yours. You can do all sorts of things with it. Magical things.
I don't like where this is going.
I don't care about your body. Where's your treasure?
Man's body is the greatest treasure he possesses. If you don't care about mine, I don't know what else I have to offer you. I do want yours, though. It's a much taller one than I have now. Big and strong. I bet you could tear up a tree by its roots, couldn't you?
Weren't you just saying your body was better than mine?
Oh, it's
Weird.
very nice. It is fantastic for all sorts of things. Objectively speaking, it's far better than yours, but I would like a change of pace. I thought it was a good question, though. My turn. What sort of treasure would you like in exchange for your body? I'll even throw mine in. I have a house. That is a nice treasure.
Is there nothing else they can offer other than my body?
Oh, that was a bad question. Here's a question. Would you prefer a flame that never dies? A sword that never breaks? Or perhaps a friend who you can always count to betray you? They will always tell you when they will be about to do it, so you will always know to prepare. There aren't many friends you can trust that well in the world, you know.
I have a question for you. Why don't you get away from me?
If you insist, please take your hands off my rock.
He takes his hand off.
He disappears in mid-turnaround and walk away.
Did anybody else see that, or is it just me?
See what?
The dude I was just... Never mind. There's no treasure here, guys. We should go.
That's exactly what someone would say if they wanted to come back and take all the treasure for themselves later.
No treasure at all. Have we checked underneath the rock?
Did they see anything when I put my hand on? Like, did it glow or anything?
They saw and heard absolutely nothing. It is as though you just simply put your hand on ordinary rock and then started talking to someone who wasn't there. Gareth is eyeing the horizon and the dust cloud that has grown just a little bigger.
Well, Worm contemplates putting his hand on the stone, but Worm contemplates moving more than he does.
Worm is good at multitasking.
If there is no treasure here, then yes, we should be on our way.
Does anyone think differently?
No.
You head
It
to...
vanished.
What's that?
The stone vanished.
The rock is still there, you just ignore it. You return to the entrance to the corpse. You... inside.
Do we all just walk through the oil puddle?
You're all at the oil puddle if you would wish to be.
I want to kind of skirt around it so I don't get oily.
You can all skirt around it if you wish, yes.
So there's more oil that hasn't been spilled yet, correct?
Yes, there are 3 more barrels.
So we can make it an even bigger oil spill.
You can.
We could. We could just oil down the entire hall.
You may oil the halls if you wish. Is that your plan of action?
Could I use some of the oil and just some scraps of fabric and stuff to make some flaming arrows, or arrows that could light on fire?
Yes, can you please make me a survival roll?
Sure. I'm great at these. Oh, I actually rolled well.
Alright, you are able to successfully make... how many arrows did you have that you were doing this to?
I have a bunch. I'm only going to make 3.
Okay, you can easily do 3.
Alright.
You have 3 oilcloth arrows. Anyone else? are you doing things?
Wendellorn's going to go back to the little nook he was hiding in before and
Okay.
start working on cleaning the book.
All right.
Um,
It worked so well for you last time.
I will
It
stand by
did
this little.
until he stopped doing it.
True.
What what are we going to use to set the oil on fire?
Well, I just took care of this. I can light these arrows on fire and then shoot the oil bottle.
I can just cast Firebolt at it.
This works too.
Multiple sources of fire are always a good idea.
Okay, is there a reason our friend is standing in the oil? And does she want to burn alive?
Well, he won't admit it to you. He hops on top of it. So,
Right.
where are we going to spread this all? I was planning on just rolling all the barrels into the knolls. But it seems that you would rather hide from a safe distance. Is that correct?
Yes, I think creating sort of a wall of fire so that we could hide behind, that they would have to approach through in order to get to us, might be a good idea.
I see. That's a
Also,
good idea.
also, if they are more intelligent than we take them for, they may just wait it out.
I doubt it.
I
Don't
do
even
as
use
well, but
clerics.
it may be something to. Well, we thought they don't use scouts either.
That is a fair point. Alright. Spready time. He seems embarrassed after saying this, but sticks to his guns.
Well, I guess Ivor will help them spread around some oil.
Are we endeavoring to fill the entire span of the floor?
Yeah, how far back are you guys going to try to do this?
And I was picturing at least, covering like this choke point or down here, kind of covering that whole area, so that
Yeah, you could cover that space fairly
I don't
easily.
know if anyone has another idea, but I figured that would let us all kind of stand back here and sling
Yeah,
pot
no,
shots at them.
I thought we should cover as much of this as possible, and that'll allow us to get in without them being able to find.
Yeah, ideally, quite a
That
significant amount of
space.
space, so that they might have to spend more than one turn in it. I know that's metagamey, but
Well, so they can maximize their time spent in
Yes, indeed.
their burning law squid.
Well, I mean, they're not going to go through it while it's on fire.
Not unless you get them really mad first.
How long does it take for oil to burn?
That is a really good question.
Like, do any of us know that?
Can you all give me nature rolls, please?
Wow.
And can someone please Google how long oil burn? So Wendellorn is the most familiar with burning oil. Why is that, Wendellorn?
I haven't the foggiest idea. As far as I know, I've never burned oil before.
I can diagnose an oil leak in your car now. That's as much as Google told me.
That'll work. Wendellorn just has really good gut instincts regarding oil. It'll burn for about a minute, you assume, Mr. Wendellorn. That sounds right to everybody who didn't roll a 4. Those of you who rolled a 4. So, Worm and Ivor, one of you assumes that the oil will just combust and then be gone immediately. One of you assumes that it will burn for hours. I don't know which one of you believes each one. You can sort that out.
I'm just assuming it'll burn all day. Can we also kind of wedge the wagon up into that small?
Yes. Like it's built into the map, so actually no, but I'll do one of these.
Perfect. You're a pro.
This is why I pay the big bucks.
This is the ideal position because it will combust and create a very large explosion. Ivor is very sure of this.
I'm kind of concerned about the structural integrity of this corpse.
Yeah, I just realized I can't click on Gareth.
Oh. He's stuck under the asterisk of doom.
Gareth has become the corpse now.
Oh. So, you have oiled the environment. You have set up a barricade. Where would you like to position yourselves, or would you like to do any more preparation?
Is there anything else that we can set on the other side of the oil for when they get through?
Stuff in the environment, or stuff that you have?
I don't know, trap-wise.
There wasn't much else to work with aside from a bunch of wither corpses. Hopefully they didn't all respawn to life in the same amount of time that Wendelorn did. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh. But they didn't, did they?
I don't know. You didn't check. Let me delete some corpses real quick. 1 second. But no, unless you brought anything else with you, there are no things just lying around that you could make traps out of. Unless you wanted to, like, fill your, like, water skin with some of the nasty green glowy liquid and just squirt it at them. Assuming that gnolls get burned by the same things that burn you.
I didn't know we had water.
I don't know. Maybe you didn't. Depends on what you had in your inventory when you brought it along.
I don't have any water skin.
Then you thirst.
Doesn't seem like there's a lot of sources of fresh water here.
No. You don't need it to live, so it doesn't, terribly matter. Aside from the thirst, which do compound itself from time to time.
Should we stand here and be ready to pick them off as they come through this area?
As you're scouting around, Mr. Slash, you see no gnoll witherlings. Gareth will hang back. He has his 2 short swords. He squats down in a ready stance.
So my hope by standing here is that if I peek around this corner, I can kind of see, I have line of sight here. Does that make sense? So then, if I start to see things come around the corner, I can just start taking pot shots while remaining, hopefully, somewhat hidden.
This is open to the sky, right?
It is open to the sky, yes.
Okay, so we're not all going to die of oil burning fumes.
Yes. Mechanically, if you are hidden and you make an attack, you lose being hidden, regardless of other stuff, until you then try to hide again.
Right, yeah, fair enough.
Given lots of circumstances, you're probably gonna... you'll still very much remain in cover without having a penalty to hit, so long as the flames aren't rushing up all around them and preventing you from getting a clear shot of them. Which is probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, forget that I don't have cunning action at this level. This is fair enough.
So if you make no other preparations, are you all right where you want to be? Vesper, is that where you're planning on holding up?
Yeah, Vesper, you might want to move.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. There we go.
Right,
Right there.
Behaving today.
A couple hours pass before you hear the meaty sound of the gate opening.
Is Wendelorn paying attention so that he can light the oil on fire when the time is right?
I would assume you're all paying attention.
Well, that's a lot to assume.
That is fair.
Yeah, at the sound of the gate opening, Wendelorn's going to look up from the book.
You've been scrubbing it with a little toothbrush this whole time.
It has to be done very carefully. I don't want to ruin the image on the book.
Right.
So hopefully we'll be able to catch a good number of them in the oil itself. Are you populating in 30 gnolls right now?
Yes-ish. I'm feebly trying to grab the thing I just drew, and it's not working.
It's a little gnoll stick figure.
More or less. It's not working.
Awesome.
Okay. These are going to be the gnolls for the moment. Oh, this was a mistake. The sound of growls and barks and hyena laughs grows closer and closer. You hear the light echoes that tell you that they are approaching the little passage which has been oiled. You hear the sounds of wet slapping as they're trudging through the bit of oil mud that has been mixed by your preparations, and the barks and grunts of mild, "Oi, this wasn't here when we left, was it?"
As I hear them approach, I'd like to use my tinderbox to light one of my arrows.
You do so.
All right.
I'm gonna draw my sword.
All of you, I assume, have various weapons and spells prepared. I mean, not prepared
I-
as in preparing an action, but you have drawn all the things you were going to draw.
Yes, I drew my great axe.
Alright. A
So-
beefy gnoll wielding a very crude glaive pops with several of his boys over the top of the cart, sniffing at it, clawing at it, investigating it thoroughly, making deep growls in his throat. He has not seen any of you.
I'm going to prepare firebolt and hold it until I see that Ivor is reacting to something he can see.
Yeah, and at
then
this
I'll
point,
cast it right in the middle of the floor, there where the wagon used to be.
Okay.
I'd like to, since I can see, is that one big beefy one you said, or is that several little ones?
These are several ones.
Several. Okay.
Let me mark out the beefy one differently. 1 second. That's going to be the beefy one. On account of he's different.
Okay. I will fire my arrow at the beefy one.
Alright, you are hidden. Please make me attack with advantage. Your bow slams into his back. A bellow of smoke rises from his pelt. You penetrated through the hide armor he was wearing into the fur beneath. He growls and frantically reaches behind himself, unable to grab at the thing that is buried very close to his spine. One of his minions jumps up and, in an attempt to be helpful, rips the arrow free, gets backhanded across the face for, causing a tremendous amount of pain to his superior, and he drops the flaming arrow into the oil. It showers into sparks, and the oil goes up in flames.
Nice. Technically, they set themselves on fire.
Yes. my Roll20 is hanging up. There
Has
we
it
go.
spread to the entirety of the oil quickly, or does that take
Yes,
time?
it did.
Okay.
The horrific smell of rancid oil burning fills your nostrils. Let's see which direction the very light breeze was blowing. Away from you! Yay! The smoke does not overwhelm you. But you do hear a multitude of voices now screaming, almost in unison. It might have been funny if they were properly in unison, but it's just a little
Harmonizing.
jarring. So there is a giant wall of flame before you now, where you expected there to be one. What do you do?
Well, I mean, there's not much we can do. We just have to wait for them to either emerge or not emerge.
Slash this laugh maniacally.
Oh God, he's a pyro too.
Well, I would have, let loose the firebolt as soon as Igor had shot the arrows. And
Okay, can you make me attack roll with advantage, please? Your fireball passes into the group just as the flames took hold, and you managed to blast one of them in the side of the head. You didn't see his fate, but you imagined it wasn't much better than the rest of them.
So,
Yes.
just a question about the situation. Can we see into the flames at all?
You can.
Or are they just a wall? Okay. Fair enough.
What seems like a horribly long time later, but was probably less than a minute, a few blazing gnolls come barreling through.
Oh God, fire gnolls.
Indeed, fire gnolls. You have invented a new enemy. Congratulations. They are, yes, burst into flames, rabid with pain, clutching, some of them, weapons that are barely still in one piece, and just running away from the flames rather than toward you.
Can we call them Burskian fire gnolls?
You may call them Burskian fire gnolls if you wish.
Fantastic.
So they run into melee range with Gareth. He seems a little ashamed, only a little, and hacks one of them down with his short swords.
Not his spear that always points north. His magnetic compass spear.
This was not the fight for that. I mean, this probably would have been the fight for that, since they also have pole arms, but, he doesn't think that far ahead. And one of the gnolls just crashes into the wall, very close to Wendelorn, up against his little hidey hole. Can I get everyone else to roll initiative, please? Haha, poor gnolls.
Burskian.
Yeah, I don't know what you were going with that, so that's what I...
Because his name is Ivor Bursk, and he set them on fire.
Right.
Burskian. Oh my God.
I didn't get it either. So
Jesus Christ.
I just assumed it was a reference to something that I would never understand, and I was right.
It's a reference to his name.
Not even Ivor got it, so
How?
so,
I like that as you type it, you still don't know.
so we have two people who are not in initiative order at the moment. Yeah, they didn't click
They
on
didn't.
their tokens before rolling, looks like.
yeah.
So 1 second, I'll just attach those.
So the less fiery gnolls, they didn't catch on fire at all. Well, I guess
the less
we
fiery
wouldn't know
gnolls
that.
are not ones that are on fire. You don't know where they are.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hit my token, but I rolled a 21. I don't know if you
Okay.
can see it.
Can you click on your token and do another roll and then just change whatever your initiative is to 21? And Worm also.
Worm also what now? Who? What?
It's Worm in initiative and I'm just not seeing him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know how to change that to a 21, but that's what I got before.
Okay, thanks. I did it. Oh, apparently the Knowles is
I don't know how to
save.
change mine either.
Okay,
You
I'll do
were
it.
an 18, I think I did first.
Okay, 1 second. Alright, Slash, it's your turn.
I'm going to run up to the closest one, and I will slash at it.
As it should be.
I'm actually hitting the one in the middle.
Okay. Alright, you hit. You just kind of wail into it and smash it with your axe and then rip the blade out. Do you do anything else?
I'm going to take a few steps backwards for my bonus action.
Okay, you can do that without using a bonus action. You just have movement left.
Okay. Yeah, I just action, so just
Okay,
back up.
otherwise... Okay. And none of them attack you. None of them take attacks of opportunity. Ivor, your turn.
So I'm not considered hidden. And would these guys have seen me attack before?
They don't look like they're seeing much of anything.
They're
Fair
probably
enough.
just kind of blindly screaming in pain and running around.
You
Fair
can
enough.
have advantage this turn if you attack.
All right. I'll shoot this one here. Well, I'll shoot the one that's already hurt then.
All right.
They're all on fire. They're
you
all
kind of
hurt.
Well,
swirl
the
your
one
limbs.
The one that's extra slashed by slash.
You reach around the corner with your body and shoot.
Just a bow pops out. All right.
All right. You blast him and put an arrow right through his nose, and he falls to the ground.
What's the name?
And that'll be my turn.
All right, Worm.
My
Writhe.
my initial initiative was 9.
Okay.
I didn't know if you wanted to keep that.
Wendalorn and Worm, can you compare your dexterities for me, please?
My dex is 12.
14.
All right, so Worm, you are going to go after Wendalorn.
Okay, the Bursky and Fire Knolls are above both of us.
Yeah.
All sorts of things are changing.
The Knolls' initiative keeps resetting to 0, and I don't know why. My word. I do not like Roll20 very much. It is the turn of the Gnolls.
Yes.
they just kind of, this one frantically just sweeps around at Mr. Gareth, that's what his name is, while doing what can only be described as crying, because that's what he's doing.
Oh, this seems cruel.
Oh, it's incredibly cruel. You set people on fire.
Yeah.
He completely misses. Gareth deftly, with elfy reflexes, just kind of doesn't get hit by the gnoll standing in front of him. This one staggers about, manages to find his way through the middle of the crowd.
Oh, hi.
And is going to end up trying to hit Ivor.
If you're on fire, does that have any sort of area of effect?
It does not. Aside from him just flailing. And he completely misses you, Mr. Ivor.
Alright.
This one manages to bash into his friend and tries to hit him. And misses. Gwendolyn, your turn.
Well, I guess I'm going to take my short sword and stab the one that's directly in front of me.
Alright, you'll have advantage on damage. That's the house rule that we're doing for flanking you sweet children watching on YouTube. Not children, but like, children of the craft. Because this video was designated not for children, so it's probably illegal for me to say children. So you hit him.
Yeah, don't say that.
And
How do I get it to do the damage?
I don't know, we didn't set that up on your weapon, I guess. What weapon are you using? Short sword? That's 1d6, right? Plus your strength.
It should say next to it what the damage is. You can just roll the dice manually.
Right.
Well, it'd be being used as a finesse weapon. It'd be 1d6 plus 2.
1d6 plus what? Okay.
Plus 2 for the dex.
Alright, so you... that's the best possible result, so don't bother rolling again. You deal 8 damage to him. Anything else?
No, that's about it. I'm pretty well trapped in my hidey hole, so I'm just going to stay there.
Alright.
Ivor approves of the stabby stabby.
Worm, it is your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to take the one that just ran up to us and try to take his head off.
Understandable.
I take his head off, probably.
Yeah, probably. Well, that's a crit, so roll your damage and then double it.
So 18.
You do indeed carefully stand, pose, wind up, and gently lop the head off. The body crumples to the ground and the head actually lands on top of the body.
Oh. Now, had this been another one of your games, the head would have sailed into the one behind him and killed him as well.
I was very tempted. You have no idea how tempted I was.
I know you were tempted.
So there's now kind of a pileup of corpses here. In the general vicinity. Vicinity? That's what we're going with.
Vicinity.
This square is now difficult terrain. He's upside down to show that.
I'm just glad I finally hit something.
You certainly hit it. Anything else, Worm?
No.
Alright, Vesper. In progress.
Yeah, I don't know why it's still there.
Because nobody's killed you yet.
That's fair. I'm going to take a firebolt to the guy that's in front.
Alright, so you'll have disadvantage on that attack roll, because he's in... no, I'm sorry. That's a dude who's dead.
Yeah, that one's dead.
Yeah, ordinary roll. Thank you.
Hey, let's play. Will this work today?
That's a fun game.
Does it have a
Played
theme
a
song?
lot.
Do 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 do. Will this work?
It should have a theme song.
Do 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 do. Roll the dice.
Of course not.
A charge in my attack.
Of course, I had to forget the dice.
All I see is it says Christopher, nothing else.
What are you
Yeah,
attacking with? Sorry.
The firebolt. I'm just trying to find which die.
Well, it's a D20 to see if you hit. First of all.
D20 and the. Well, yeah. Then I'm
It's a
looking
D10 fire damage after that.
D10.
Yeah.
I believe it was D20 plus 6, right?
That sounds right. If you had a +4 for your charisma.
Yes.
So you do indeed hit.
Fantastic.
You're literally adding fire to the fire. It's a tried and true tradition.
Now, was the D10 plus anything?
I think it's just a D10.
Okay.
It'll say in the description of the thing.
Yeah, cantrips aren't typically plus anything unless you have a class feature.
Unless you're a
It's
warlock.
just a D10.
Alright,
Lovely.
you blast him. A lot of 8 damage is being done this game. Anything else, Vesper?
No.
A turn is taken. And the initiative reset again. Whoop-de-doo. Slash, your turn.
Alright, well, I might as well put these guys out of their misery, because I'm starting to feel bad.
Are they
That's the
taking
most
extra
cute.
damage each round, too?
Oh, they're taking damage.
Okay. I didn't want you to forget.
Oh, I won't. I ordinarily would, but that's like the entire thing I set up here, so I still probably will, yeah, but you know.
So I'm going to have to push through the crowd here, because I think everyone's blocking. But
Yeah.
So long as people let you through,
Vault
it's
over.
no additional movement. I believe. No,
Yeah.
hold on. Is it double movement moving through a dude, or is that only if it's an enemy?
I think it's double movement moving through anyone. We had that problem in Ferdinand's game. Upstairs with a cow.
Alright, we're saying it's double
Okay.
movement.
Well, if I use my hand axes instead of my great axe, do I get to have a bonus attack or a bonus action? I don't remember.
Yes. If they're both light weapons, then you can dual wield with them, and that means you use your bonus
Okay, I'm
action
gonna-
as an attack.
Yeah, I'll do that instead of the great axe's turn.
Okay. So you
I think Vesper was the
squeeze.
name. I'm gonna squeeze through, and I will attempt to attack the first guy with the hand axe.
Alright, you stand on the corpse of his fallen ally, and you smack him. Or try dying. I mean, you don't try to die, but you know, you hit him. And he dies.
Okay. And then bonus action. Do I get to use another one?
Yes, you have a bonus action, you can make another attack, you'll just have to push through and get to this guy.
Okay. Well, I should be able to move
Yeah.
there.
There you are. You have to... I don't know where you want to stand in relation to the other enemy. Probably on the other side of Gareth, so you can get the advantage damage.
Is the upside down guy? Is he the one who just died, or is he the other guy? Or
The upside down guy is just a growing pile of corpses.
okay, then I'm going to walk past it and attack this guy.
Okay.
It's a very wide pile of corpses.
Oh, he is indeed. If you stand on the opposite side of Gareth, then you can get the damage advantage.
Oh, I didn't even notice Gareth there. Okay.
That's the theme of Gareth's life.
Okay. Alright, so I stand there and I'll attack. Well, I think I hit anyways, but
Alright, we'll see what happens. Yes, you hit. And can you re-roll the damage? I guess just re-roll the attack and use the damage value from it. Alright, you deal damages to this guy. You bash him in the shoulder blade with your blade, putting your shoulder behind it. I believe that's all you can do. Ivor.
All right. So at this time, there's no sign of the other gnolls coming
Correct.
through, right? Okay. I will use my action to cast Thaumaturgy and make my voice 3 times louder than normal.
All right.
And I will shout at them, "You cowardly dog! Your leader has been severely wounded, and yet you will not fight. Either come at us or leave this place forever."
Can you give
And
me
I will attempt
performance,
to.
please?
Okay, performance, sure.
Unless there's a different skill you want.
I would like. I would appreciate intimidation, but I'll take performance if that is.
You should have advantage on it due to thaumaturgy, I would suggest.
You are going to have advantage on it. I think performance is a lot more appropriate than intimidation.
Okay.
You're trying to egg them to put themselves at risk to come towards you rather than trying to make them cower or run away.
Sure.
I agree with that.
What about persuasion?
I didn't hear any of that, I'm sorry.
What about persuasion?
Persuasion could also work, maybe. I don't know, that's more of a one-on-one thing. I think performance is really the most appropriate here.
I'll take performance, sure.
Oh my god.
Oof. A 1 and a 2. Feels bad.
So, why didn't this work out very well?
Because nobody has an inspiration to give him.
I do have an inspiration I could use, but I don't know if this is the time, so I'm not gonna.
Okay.
So, why didn't this work out very well?
Maybe they can't hear me through the flames.
The flames are incredibly loud.
Despite thaumaturgy, still not loud enough. I
should've-
just hear muffled shouting.
You should have done a higher voice Kaioken multiplier, yes.
Yes.
Maybe his accent is just too thick and they can't understand him.
Possibly.
His accent is not
They're also screaming in pain, and I don't think they can really hear anything right now.
Very true. Are you doing anything else, Ivor?
Well, that was my action, so nope.
Alright. This one fire gnoll howls in pain. And he is going to attack Mr. Gareth. Ooh.
Ooh, Rip Gareth.
So Gareth takes 22 slashing damage. Gareth is down. His head got ripped clean off.
Gareth's did?
Yes. This is probably not something that is a new experience to Gareth. One moment. The biggest gnoll, he steps out of the fire, and he seems to have actually retained some sense of composure, despite being completely on fire, the flesh practically dripping, melting from his face, revealing the bones underneath. There is a bright red light gleaming in each of his very scorched eye sockets, and he is holding half of a charred and cindery polearm in each hand. He is grinding his teeth together in his now fairly exposed jaw. His ribs have kind of made a cradle for the nasty burning organs underneath. He's kind of got a General Grievous thing going on. And he's going to stalk right up to you, Mr. Slash, and he is going to start wailing on you. Oops, I forgot to add his bonus. Does a 13 hit?
It does not.
Alright, so the stick that was part of the polearm held in his left hand just shatters against you, sending sparks cascading over your body. You take 1 fire damage from that. He tries to hit you with the other.
Yeah.
And the other one smacks against you, and the same thing happens. He just ruins both of the weapons that were in his hands. You're going to take 1 more fire damage. He howls in rage.
Well, that went better than I thought it would, so.
When. Yes, and considerably worse than he thought it would. Gwendolorn.
I am going to cast Firebolt at the one that just killed Gareth.
Alright. Pew pew. You hit. He is still up.
Well, that was a useful thing. I guess that's the end of my turn.
Alright. If it makes you feel any better, the flames had largely died down after having consumed most of his fur, and you just kind of continue to injure him. It's really not his day. Worm.
Well, I can't make it all the way to him, but I can get most of the way.
Alright. That was quite a speedy scoot.
I want to prepare an action with my greatsword if he gets near enough.
Alright, the big boy. Anything else?
No, sir.
Vesper.
Whisper.
We'll
So,
Whisper.
so this here in front of me, that's the 2 dead.
Yes, it just will.
Alright.
To get past them is going to cost you 20 feet of total movement
Alright,
rather
so
than
I'm
10.
2 over this way.
I think it's
Alright.
gonna. Oh yeah, you'll get there.
Hmm?
Oh, nothing. Sorry.
Okay. Actually, bad. Yeah, I'm going to head down here,
Okay.
and so is that guy there still?
There is a dude
Alive,
between Gareth's corpse and Slash's not corpse.
Oh man, I have a
Alright.
javelin. I could have thrown it at him.
You
Oh.
could have, but you didn't.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna go and burn him.
All right. Are you using Firebolt?
Yes.
All right, that's going to be disadvantage.
All right.
Why is it disadvantage?
Because
I'm in
Vesper's
melee.
in melee. Yeah.
Well, maybe you shouldn't get so close.
Well,
You-
that would have been a smart idea, and I wouldn't.
Well, so step back.
We could say that you stepped up instead of walking right there. It would have been the same amount of movement.
Yeah,
And then you won't be at disadvantage.
do that.
Yay. No disadvantage. Pew pew. You do not hit.
Hmm.
Whoosh. Anything else?
No.
Alright.
Fortunately for you, he's already on fire, so nobody notices that you missed.
That's fair.
The fire just joins the other flames.
You hear a scraping and a thump. And you see... And that doesn't work at all, does it? So, an overturned cart has been pushed to... Oh my word. I can't do it, can I? I cannot grab all of his individual drawing elements.
Thanks, Roll20.
There we go. An overturned cart has been pushed to the edge of the fire, and a bunch of smoky, smoldery, but otherwise fairly fine knolls jump out from underneath it.
Is the oil field still on fire?
Very much so, yes.
But they're not.
They are not, no. I mean, well, to an extent. They are not actively consumed in flames.
How?
They're not Bursky and fire gnolls.
They are not. They are fairly singed, apparently much brighter than the average gnolls. Despite the cart having been in the fire, although none of you drenched the cart in oil, you just kind of shoved it as a block in the middle of the fire. It
Well, I
seems
mean,
that they made a turtle of it and somehow didn't just get completely consumed by all the oil on fire rising up from underneath them as they were traveling. One of the
Gnoll
gnolls
magic.
one of the gnolls has a very tattered, what looks like it used to be a white robe on, and a very sad, kind of soft, probably horrifically hot looking silver like tiara thing on its head. I mean, it's clearly a gnoll cleric, despite the fact that gnolls don't use clerics. I don't know what's up with that. This game doesn't make any sense. So the first one... Now, none of these have weapons. I guess their pole arms just were too unwieldy to get underneath the thing here. So this one is going to run up to Vesper, and Worm is going to be able to get his prepared attack on it.
yeah, okay, I'll use that.
You hit?
Does I hit?
Yes.
Damn.
Indeed. So you chop him
Do I
mostly...
take his head off too?
You do not take his head off, no.
Just mostly off, so it's kind of dangling.
Well, you took a good portion of the shoulder off. That arm ain't doing much anymore. He's going to try to punch Vesper in the face, because that's what gnolls do when they don't have weapons.
With his good arm.
Yes. He doesn't exactly have many choices now. Does a 3 hit Vesper?
Oh,
One of
dear.
them is going to try to punch you, Mr. Worm. Does a 13 hit?
It does not.
Alright. He doesn't hit then. Slash, it's your turn.
Okay, well, I have the big one right in front of me, so I am going to slash at him with my hand axe.
Alright.
Or you know what? Yeah, I'll do hand.
Okay, I'm going to turn this one sideways to show that he's the clericy looking one.
There's just one clericy looking one.
Just one clericy looking one.
That is incredibly easy to understand.
You hit?
Upside down wide one equals difficult
That's
terrain.
dead.
Actually, I'm sorry, he does. That does not hit the big one.
Left.
Okay, I'm going to try with my other axe.
Oh, that hits. You smash him up good. Anything else?
That is all I can do, unfortunately.
Ivor.
All right. Well, this one beneath Worm is still alive.
Yes. Just barely. Looks like.
I'm gonna shoot him.
Alright. Pling, pling, plong. You get him. He dies.
Pew.
He had 1 HP left.
Perfect. That would be my turn then.
Alright. The Burskian big boy is going to try to just barrel through you. Mr. Slash, can you please make me an athletics roll?
Oof.
he's going to shove you right into the wall here. Blam. Growling in your face. He's going to try to punch you.
I growl back.
Nice. Does a 16 hit?
Yes.
He deals 1 bludgeoning damage.
Wow.
Wendalorn, your turn.
I like how the big boss one has attacked 3 times and he's done a total of 3 damage.
He's a little on fire, to be fair. I don't know why that makes it better, but he's not in his A game today.
Okay, I'm going to come out of the hidey hole a little bit. And then I'm going to firebolt the big one that's been attacking Slash.
Alright.
Pew.
Pew indeed. That will not hit.
Okay, then I'm going to continue down a little ways past Ivor there.
Alright.
And that's that.
Okay. Worm, your turn.
I have choices.
That is what some people call them, yes.
Wendell, why are you down there?
Because he doesn't want to die again, because he's smart.
Jesus. Coward.
Because I don't want to get pinned in that little alcove. I'm already stacked bodies in front of me, so.
Well, the one directly to my right, I'm going to try to plant my sword in his eye socket.
Understandable. That'll hit.
In the eye socket?
I don't know. How much damage did you do?
Great sword to the eye socket.
It's like trying to fit a square peg in a pinhole. You do not put it into his eye socket. You try to, and you give him a horrific stab wound in the face, but it just goes into his cheek.
I mean, it's a big sword, so it still does a lot of damage.
Yes. Anything else?
And that's all.
Alright. Vesper in progress.
Alright, well, I'm gonna take my dagger out and start stabbing that boy.
Stibbity stabbity. Get out of
Maybe
Death
it'll
Alley.
do better on him than on bushes.
To be fair, he's bigger than a bush.
Yes.
That's
That'll
true.
hit.
Hey.
You stab him.
Not terrible.
Stabby, stabby.
Anything else?
No.
Well, the one you just stabbed is going to try to stab you with its hand. So not less of a stab and more of a slap, I guess. Does a 17 hit?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's going to deal 2 bludgeoning damage. And the one to the right of you, Mr. Worm, he is going to try to tackle you and push you back. Athletics roll, please.
Wow. I'm very athletic.
Apparently so. And apparently the die is thinking on my end. I don't like it when the dice have autonomy.
The die is spinning.
Okay, he indeed pushed you.
Right into the corpse pile.
Into the corpse pile. He intends that you join it. And then he's going to try to punch you.
Did I fall?
You did not fall prone, no.
So I'm standing on the corpses.
More or less, yes, as is he.
That's just going to give me a height advantage.
Come on, dice, do your thing. Stop being you.
Now, question: when he pushed me, do the other ones get attack of opportunity against me since I left their melee range?
You do not, because the movement was imposed upon you.
Okay, I had no idea what the rule was regarding that.
It is a bit of a weird rule that doesn't make much internal sense, but that they did just to prevent shenanigans like that, which I don't think are shenanigans, but whatever.
Well, I mean, their ally was right there with me, so I guess they wouldn't have attacked.
It's politeness in a
Yes.
duel, I guess.
It just wouldn't be cricket.
So, because of 21 hits, I assume he punches you in the
It
face
does.
for 4 bludgeoning. This one that just ran up from underneath is going to also try to punch Vesper, as that's preferable to trying to punch Slash. I assume. I'm not a null, I don't know. Does
Good
a
to
9
me.
hit? What's that?
Sounds good to me.
One in the diagonal is going to try to punch Vesper.
Ah.
Does a 10 hit?
No.
Alright. And the one in the back that looks like a cleric is going to pull a very long awl, a kind of metal spike, from their sleeve, and is going to start jabbing it repeatedly into their own face. A bright mist comes out of their face and wafts over them and into the nose and ears and eye sockets of the one up front.
Oh.
Healing it for 5 damage. Slash, your turn.
Well, I'm going to basically do the same thing as the last turn, and I'm going to attack this one that's been pushing me to the wall.
Alright. That will not hit.
I did no.
That one
That
will
one's
hit.
out. Again, only 5 damage though.
Yeah,
Swing.
he's still up. Actually, wait a second. I did not
It
roll
might
for
be
his
less
fire damage
damage.
last time.
Actually,
Oh, less damage?
assuming that Slash doesn't have 2-weapon fighting.
Correct, that should be -2. So he only did 3.
Unfortunately.
So even with the fire damage he's taking, he's still barely up. That would have killed him otherwise.
What a thick knoll.
Indeed. He's thick with 2 nulls. 3 nulls, perhaps. Nulls. I'm trying to do something that's not working. Anyway, moving on. Well, Slash, are you doing anything else?
I can't do anything else, so I have done my turn.
Okay. Ivor.
Well, seeing that the null cleric actually does things, Ivor will attempt to.
Oh, I never rolled for what damage he took.
Actually, no. I'm going to shoot the big one.
Okay.
So I'm going to. I'm going to just peek my bow and head around the corner and fire that again.
Okay. Plim plim plon.
Oof.
Ooh. Your arrow whizzes into the sunset.
Unfortunate.
Anything else? You are seeing a load of your allies being pushed in your general direction by a wave of gnolls.
Yeah, but I'm also engaged with one, so I think that'll be my turn for now.
Okay. There is an entire fire gnoll still remaining. And he is going to try to wrestle you to the ground.
He's still on fire?
Yes.
He could be more on fire?
He could be more on fire. He's been taking at the end of his turn, which is really
Which one is
unfair.
it?
but I'm still doing it. So Slash, can you please make me an athletics roll as he tries to wrestle you to the ground?
The one between Slash and Vesper.
The big one.
Oh.
So
Oh, right, you were the panel.
he knocks you prone, and then he will auto hit you in melee with his second attack, which is just a kick, but still. You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
Wow.
And then he dies and falls on top of you. Wendelorn, the Mad.
Can I see the one that's right in front of Worm?
You can, yes.
Then I am going to firebolt the one that's right in front of Worm.
Excellent. A wise decision. Oh, you hit.
Nice.
Right, so that deals 12 damage. You hit him in the eye socket, the one that Worm was trying to hit.
Did you just fire right over Evor's head?
It was right between both of your heads, pretty much.
Oh.
And another body joins the pile.
Ivor is very bald, so there's not much to get in the way.
So, there's no getting through here now, unless somebody clears the way. There are too many corpses piled up in the
Extra
hole
difficult terrain.
Extra difficult terrain, yes. It's... I mean, there is getting through it, but it'll cost you 15 feet of movement.
Alright.
Wendelorn, anything else?
Nope, just that little bit of movement, so I got a better view on things, and that's it.
Worm.
So, could I conceivably climb on top of the corpse pile?
Yes?
And strike from the top of the corpse pile?
Yeah, but you're gonna have to give me an acrobatics to get up there.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Uh-huh. It's a pile of smoldering gnoll corpses.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Damn it.
You fail. Please take 1 point of fire damage.
Are they on fire?
They're smoldery boys.
I think the answer to are they on fire is always they can be more on fire.
That is very true.
So, I mean,
That cost half of your movement. You may...
how high is the pile?
It's like 3 corpses high.
So I
But
can
they're
still,
all-
so I can still cast a spell over it?
No. You could
Why
use your
not?
other half of your movement to try to get back up to the top, though.
No. I guess I'll just stay here.
I mean, they're not
Actually, I'll
lying down neatly, like, planking on top of each other so that you have cover that you can just lean over to shoot people at. They're all tangled together, and there's limbs here and there, and it's like...
And the pile is so high that I can't cast a spell over them?
That is correct, yes.
That's bullshit.
It is.
I'm gonna
It's
step
also
back.
bullshit that they can push you past their allies, and their allies don't get attacks of opportunity against you. This is a game of give, take, and bullshit.
I'm gonna just stand here, I guess, and be ashamed of myself.
Understandable. Vesper.
Bonus action T-pose.
Also understandable. That better
T-pose
be
of shame.
a monk feature.
Well, Vesper's gonna keep stabbing. Because that seems to be working.
As one does.
As is tradition.
That does not hit.
Of course not.
As is tradition.
Anything else? Do you have Word of Radiance? If not, you should probably take Word of Radiance next time you long rest.
Probably.
Assuming
Guess
that's a
who-
thing a Divine Soul Sorcerer can do.
Mm,
I'm
I mean,
not
they can
sure.
take it. I don't know if they get to swap stuff out like that because I've never played one.
nobody does cantrips, I think.
Oh, except for the Unearthed
Yeah.
Arcana stuff, right?
Right.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm fairly cornered, so I don't think I can go anywhere.
Guess who
Alright.
couldn't cast Ward of Radiance over the corpse pile?
Also Vesper. Technically, everybody. There is no person in the party who could cast Word of Radiance over the corpse pile for various reasons. Maybe that one null in the back there. I don't know. Maybe he can just ignore nulls.
We'll find out.
It is their turn now. The one at the very back, he's going to continue meticulously stabbing himself in the face.
As you do.
He's going to take another 4 damage.
He's probably not doing well.
He's not. He's gonna heal 1d4 to the top guy.
This doesn't seem like a good exchange.
Maybe this is why there aren't null clerics. They never survive long enough to be known by society.
I'm gonna blame their trick with the cart and the fire on the cleric, though. That's some no magic, right?
Yes. The one on the top, he's going to, he's gonna keep punching you, Vesper, until you die.
Can one of us learn this trick where we stab ourselves in the face to heal everyone else?
Yes.
Excellent.
I don't know how yet, but yes. So,
maybe
just a 13 hit Vesper.
Maybe if we steal his little crown.
I mean, there's a cleric spell called Life Transference that is just a much more civilized version of that.
Well, that's no fun.
It's actually a lot of fun. It also has no synergy with necromancers in the game, and that's the part that's bullshit. It's gonna punch you for 4 damage in the face.
If you have a death wish, you can also just take it as a wizard.
Oh, Vesper's down.
Drain your whole 6 HP for...
Oh, yes. Barbarian has a few more HP. It was totally worth it. I mean, yes, but anyway. So this guy is going to try to... I mean, since you would have gotten back up, he's going to try to shove you back down. Opposed athletics, please.
I thought Vesper was down.
Yeah, not Vesper down. Slash, sorry. He's gonna blast you down. Swish ka-thump. This one's gonna move in. He's gonna auto.
Sorry, that was. It's supposed to be a 14 roll because I get a +4. I accidentally hit.
Yep. Sorry, I didn't even notice that was deception. So that should have been 14. 15 will still beat it. Allowing the other one to auto hit you for 3 bludgeoning. The cleric is actually just going to stay where he is. He couldn't do anything else anyway. So there's lots of screaming and whimpering still coming from the flames. There are, of course, many more gnolls than the ones who are right here. Just, I guess they didn't get chosen by the cleric to do the insane kamikaze attack. Slash, your turn. Slash
okay, I am going to attack the one that just attacked me.
Alright, so you'll get up using half your movement.
If it uses... I still get to have my bonus attack, don't I?
Yeah, you just used half your movement. It doesn't use any other resources.
Okay. Yeah, and I probably wasn't going to move anyways. So I will slash.
You do not hit.
Second hit.
That'll hit. And that does 2 damage to him.
I'm almost doing as little damage as they do.
There's a gif I gotta send to the group afterward. Do you do anything else, Mr. Darkstone?
That will be it.
Alright, Ivor.
Ivor,
Ivor the Berskbarian.
So I can't see through the pile of corpses. I have to climb on top of it, right?
Correct. Unless you have some other way to get rid of them.
Not that doesn't take actions and such. Acrobatics?
Yep, acrobatics to the top. You get to the top.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
I'm on top of the corpse pile. Alright. I will then shoot down at this one here.
Alright. It does not count as being in melee for you.
Cool.
You're a high boy.
Rip.
That does not hit.
Would have been a high roll too.
Anything else?
I guess I'll stay up here. I'll chill on the corpse pile.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
The fire gnolls don't even exist. They're cryptids. Wendalorn.
Is there enough room for me to be up on top of the pile of corpses as well?
Yes. You can.
And I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going to attempt to get up on top of the pile of corpses.
All right, acrobatics, please. Okay, we'll do it this. You do not succeed. You slip and fall back to the bottom. You take 1 fire damage.
And I can't see past these corpses to cast a spell at anything?
Correct.
Then I guess there's not much else I can do with this.
All right. Worm.
I question how 3 gnoll carcasses can make an impenetrable wall.
Have you
That
ever
you
seen a
can't
gnoll?
hoover.
Have you ever seen a pile of gnolls in real life?
How big are they?
That wasn't the question. I mean, they're pretty big, though.
Well, I don't much want to try climbing on there again.
That is understandable. On the other hand, what else are you going to do?
Well, that's the question.
You could try blasting the barrier down.
Well, I was going to try to dismantle it, but now there's someone on top of it. I want to just try to dismantle the half that he's not standing on and see if
All right.
I can open a way.
Walk right up to it. Make me an attack roll, please.
I'm going to try to cleave at it.
Smish, smish. You hit.
Gosh, I hope
In
so.
fact,
It's
you
a
hack
wall.
at it. Well, you say that, but objects have AC,
Of course.
which is more a measure of how effectively you hit it than whether or not you actually make contact. As are the actual attacks in combat. Just, I'm too boring to play them that way usually.
Somebody wearing full plate is effectively just a wall too, but
Right.
you have to penetrate the full plate.
But did I open a big enough hole to cast a spell through or to walk through?
Please roll me damage, because objects have HP also.
Okay.
There are tables for this on the DM screen, just so you know. I'm not just pulling this out of my butt. Perfectly average roll. You do, in fact, chop a giant hole through it.
Walking hole or spellcasting hole? Cool. There you go, Wendalorn.
You could squeeze through, it'd be regular rough terrain. Definitely a spellcasting hole.
Okay, well, that's all for me.
Vesper, death saving throw, please. You succeed. Noli boy turn. So, yes. Snoll is going to do a thing, isn't he? Yeah, he's gonna try to shove you back down, Slash. Athletics, please, you know the drill. attempts to slash remain on his feet, or will he fall once more?
I'm sorry, do you need me to roll?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I fall.
Yeah, he just shoves you back down. He says something in Nolish that probably means know your place. One on the bottom kicks you for 2 bludgeoning. This one moves down. He kicks you for 4 bludgeoning. The one in the back, he pulls a liquid out of his pouch and he starts just splashing it on his comrades. It smells like daisies. It's a smell that most of you have probably not smelled in many, many years.
What is he splashing it on?
His companions. And that's them. Slash, your turn.
Okay, again, I'll get up, and I will this time use my great axe, and I'm going to attempt it. The one standing in.
So you'll drop your little axes and whip out your great axe. And lay the oh, that hits.
Damn.
Was that the one above or the one to the right?
The one to the right.
Okay. I mean, I guess it could have also been the diagonal one. I wasn't trying to lead you away from him. So you kind of do like a rising uppercut with the flat of your axe and smash him underneath the chin. And he does kind of a half stagger with a lot of clearly broken bones in his face. It's pretty metal. Anything else?
I don't think there's anything else I can do. If I move, I'm going to get attacked.
Right.
So I'm going to have to stand my ground.
Alright, Ivor. The pile has been broken away, but you still remain atop it if you wish.
I wish. All right. So the one that Slash is hit is not dead yet?
Correct.
Well, pew pew.
Pewty pewty. That will not, yeah, that will not hit.
Rip. That's my turn.
I saw the 2 numbers below and the 1 number above, and my brain sheared in half.
I think that would have been pretty close to a max damage roll, too.
Yeah, that would have been
if not
fat.
max. Yep.
Anything else?
That's my turn.
Alright. Fire gnolls do not exist. They're just in your imagination, Wendellorn. And also, coincidentally, it's your turn.
Okay, so now I can see things to shoot at things.
Indeed. Is a
Well,
site where people go to find adventuring contracts.
Keep in mind, I only have 3 HP left, so I would appreciate any help.
Yeah, except I wouldn't know that, so...
I've never seen a barbarian get the shit kicked out of him by a bunch of
He looks
gnolls
a little
before,
beat up.
It's an interesting sight.
So I'm going to shoot at the one that's between Vesper and Slash with the firebolt.
That'll hit. Very nice. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm just going to sulk. Yeah.
I think that's warranted.
You catch him in the belly button. He didn't care for that much. Anything else, Wendellorn?
No, I'm just going to stand there and sulk.
Understandable. Worm!
Worm.
Thou hast unbarricaded thyself, what now do?
I'm gonna fire at the same one.
Okay.
There we go.
Alright, so you... Yes. Okay, so he's got to make a DC 13 dex save. 1 second, I gotta look at his... Okay. +1. He fails. And he takes 8.
Aha.
That was a pretty fat Sacred Flame.
Nice.
He didn't have much hair, but what hair was left is completely consumed.
I was going to say Worm is on fire today, but that seems in poor taste.
It was in pretty poor taste.
It's too bad they're not vulnerable to the radiant damage.
So he had a little necklace apparently on around his neck. This glows super bright and then shatters.
Okay.
The gnoll wearing it looks pretty surprised. The cleric looking one in the back cackles madly.
Oh. Interesting.
Vesper.
But he's still standing.
Sorry. He is still standing, yes. Death saving throw time.
Alright.
Success. Very
Nice.
The middle one here, he is going to try to shove you down / athletics, please. He shoves you down.
What?
Ouch.
The one to the right is going to continue kicking you. I really am sorry for all this. That's 4
No, you're
bludgeoning.
He's down.
Okay, so I'm down.
Okay. Seeing you stop moving, the one behind him is going to think long and hard about whether it's going to give you a right proper continual kicking to death or is going to move past you. It's going to move past you. Past its buddy into the fray. He is going to try to get at Ivor. He's going to try to rip you off the pile and hurl you down. Can you give me opposed athletics, please?
Sorry, was that opposed athletics for Ivor?
Yes, thank you. Ooh.
I'm not a strong boy.
He grabs you by the ankles and rips you down. You fall and bonk your head. Please take, it'll be 1d4, I guess, bludgeoning. Four bludgeoning, please.
Oof.
Ouch.
Glad I used a hit dice earlier.
Yes. The cleric is going to return to stabbing himself in the face. I think this is the first time he didn't deal 4 damage to himself. / death throw, please. The flames have considerably died down in the giant pool of flames, but they're certainly not gone yet.
What am I supposed to roll here?
Just roll 1d20. If you get a 10 or a better, it's a success. Success. Ivor.
Well, so am I prone or anything? Have been ripped
You are
down?
prone, yes.
Okay. And
You
I'm
actually
no
ended up-
longer...
Basically in the cubby.
Okay. So is the corpse pile completely cleared now? I'm trying to kind of get a mental picture of this.
The corpse pile still has a bit of it. It's not impeding movement as it did before. It is just rough terrain right now. It's not the double rough terrain.
And am I engaged with the one diagonally from me here?
Yes.
Okay. I will cast Toll the Dead on the one directly in front of me, the diagonal one.
Alright, so he's going to make a wisdom... No, which save is it? Is it his wisdom, right?
Here, I'll post it here. It's a wisdom save, DC 13.
Fails. He took damage, so
So
that's
he took
1d12.
Yeah, it rolled a 4 when I cast it.
Gotcha. He's going to take that. That was necrotic.
Yep.
He is not terribly much affected.
Fair enough.
Anything else?
That's it.
Wendellorn, how mad are you?
Well, at this point, I'm pretty mad. The one that's right in front of me, I'm going to stab with a short sword.
Nice. Oh, that'll hit.
There you go.
And that would be +2 on top of that.
Okay. You stab a few inches into his ribs. It didn't look fun. Anything else?
No, I'm going to stay right there.
Worm.
Worm is gonna stabbity stab the same guy.
Alright.
Stabbity
He
stab.
do not stab. Anything else?
No.
Vesper, death save, please.
Helps if I don't close my browser.
You stabilize.
Fantastic.
Yay, you will not die this day.
She is still unconscious, though, right?
Correct.
Okay.
The 7-1 is going to try to punch you, Mr. Ivor, as you're the one who just heard him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess Wendellorn also just heard him. It's really good. Who will he stab? He's going to stab Wendellorn. Or try to... he's going to try to punch Wendellorn. Many variables there were not correct. Stab with his... Ideally, the fist will go through Wendellorn. And out the other side. That is not going to hit. The one behind is going to try to muscle his way through. You'll get an attack of opportunity on the one pushing his way in. All three of you. Wendellorn does not hit. That was Wendellorn. Yes. Oops, I just scaled my screen really wonkily. There we go. So, yes, Ivor and Worm, would you like to make attacks of opportunity?
Against whom?
Against the guy who just grabbed his buddy out of the way, shoved him aside, and pushed himself in the way.
Oh, I didn't see
Which
that
was
happen.
completely
Yes.
unseeable because they both have the same
Yeah.
picture.
I wasn't looking at the picture at
Sorry.
the time. So.
May I draw a dagger with one hand as part of this attack?
I am afraid not.
Okay.
Could have done that as a part of your action.
Yes, that's fair. That's why I asked. I guess I'll do an unarmed attack. That's the only thing I can do.
Well, Worm chops him to bits.
I do 0 bludgeoning because of my negative strength. Never mind.
Oh my god.
You give him a nice
How do you
little
hit something and do no damage?
magic.
At least I don't do negative damage.
You just kind of brush him gently with it and he feels better.
There
That's
is no
magic
minimum
right
of 1 damage clause attached to the...
I think it's a minimum of 0 damage clause attached to... I can
for
double check
feeble slapping. The best cleric just has negative strength and unarmed attacks as
Yes.
That's the real big brain move when you're playing monk.
He just walks through and slaps them all in the ass with his sword.
He has to say good game each time. That's the verbal components.
I don't see a minimum listed under unarmed strikes specifically.
Interesting.
I assume there's a minimum of 0 listed under just weapons somewhere, but
so
either way, it only comes to 0 for me. So.
Right. The cleric is going to try to heal.
He's running out of people to heal.
He's becoming a little less enthusiastic with every stab.
I mean, if he wants to start healing us, that'd be nice.
He stabs himself for 4 again.
He just drops dead.
He's not dead yet. That's the hilarious thing. He has spent all his HP on stabbing himself to heal people, and he's almost dead, but not quite.
He's just in very poor condition. I feel bad for him.
And he heals the other guy for 1.
This is really not a good setup.
So, the guy who was near Slash, he is going to pick up... I guess none of them really would have dropped pole arms, because none of these guys brought them. The guys who were super on fire just dropped them when they got on fire. And the big guy, his pole arm kind of got burned up when he smacked Slash with it. So he's going to pick up a rock, is what he's going to do. And he's going to barrel in here, and he's going to try to bash... Who does he try to bash? He's going to try to bash Ivor. Does a 21 hit, Ivor?
Yes. Glad that wasn't a 20.
You take 3 bludgeoning damage.
Alright.
It's gonna be them. Slash, can you make me another death saving throw, please? That's
There
a
you go.
success. Nice. Ivor.
Alright. I will draw a dagger and stabby stabby.
Indeed.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Damn.
So you just
So
did,
what was our special crit rolls? I forget if we.
roll damage as normal and double all of it.
Okay, so that would actually the second crit numbers there are actually
Ignore them.
the second roll, so it would be 24 piercing.
Very nice.
Jesus.
So you obliterate this guy. What goes down when you do so?
Like to just like stab him in the throat and then just like pull all the way down his body and kind of like
Ooh, you
tear him
unzip
up.
him.
Yes, I unzip him exactly.
Fantastic.
It's like a Mortal Kombat move.
Yes.
As all combats should end E. So yeah,
Um,
he die. He adds to the pile of corpses that's standing
This is what happens with choke points.
No.
The pile
We don't have a corpse wall again. I refuse.
I'm sorry it exists.
Okay.
No.
Can I climb up the corpse wall?
Yes, you may.
God help us.
It's a much easier
There we
acrobat
go.
now. You get to the top
Okay.
easily.
All right. Then I would like to use my second dagger as a bonus action.
Okay.
Stabby, stabby.
That'll hit.
So that's just 4 piercing. No sneak attack.
Right.
I like to think that I didn't even climb through the pile of corpses. I just tore this guy in half, ran through him, and then stabbed the guy behind
Yes, the corpse fell behind you, anime style. That's why it was
Yes.
so much easier for you.
him. Exactly.
And you, I guess, jumped back on top of him? I don't know. Magic.
Maybe.
Wendelorn. The corpse pile has returned.
Well, I'm going to try and climb on top of the corpse pile again.
Alright. You,
That
for some
sounds like-
reason, you think it'll be easier. Well, you
That
get up.
sounds like you're introducing him. Wendelorn, the corpse pile has returned.
That's the Smash intro.
Here I go climbing again.
Wendelorn
And I'm
corpse
going to-
piles into the fray.
I'm going to attempt to firebolt the cleric back there.
Alright.
Somebody besides the cleric is attacking the cleric.
Well, there's only room enough for one crazy person here, so
Nice. You blast him.
And the 1 HP he had left.
You incinerate him. His blood catches on fire. You're pretty sure that blood isn't supposed to do that. But you know, it's just what we have to deal with these days. Do you do anything else?
No, that's about all I'm going to get to do.
Worm.
Worm just kind of looks forlornly at the corpse wall. I mean, is it on fire?
No.
So falling off of it would not
Correct.
hurt. God damn it.
Well, you still fall off, despite it being a lot easier this time. You take no damage. Would you like to try it again?
I don't think you can in one turn, can you?
Takes half your movement. You make it up. You feel very proud of yourself.
I T-pose.
You thankfully do not spear Ivor in the face.
Alright, I'm gonna stab the last guy that's left.
That will stab.
I stab him. Good. Christ, how do you automatically add the damage to your rolls?
You set it up on your character sheet. And he died.
I don't know how to do.
You gently, like, it's like a mama cat picking up a kitten by the nape of its neck. But instead of all of that, you stab him in the throat.
That's a perfect analogy.
I can stick around after the session and help people figure out character sheet stuff if need be.
Thank you very much for that, Jordan.
Sure thing.
And we are going to end here as the
perfect.
flames finally die most of the way down to nasty, burny floor embers, and dozens of gnolls rush into the choke point and take you all prisoner.
I like the idea that we're ending. It's gonna be a week while Garrett's head is just detached from his body and
Yes.
Slash is standing over him.
What is that yellow line leading
That
towards?
was, I accidentally grabbed part of the oil, so it was part of the oil. Because Roll20 is terrible, and by that I mean I just don't know how to use Roll20
The
properly.
oil became sentient.
So, yes, thank you all so much for
The oil
tolerating
just got
this.
up and walked away.
I was really interested to see how this was going to turn out. I'm proud of how many guys that you set on fire. Yes. We'll see what comes of it next week. So have a good week. I'll see you all later.